The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
I'm your girl, thePLAINESTjane, and let's see what's happening in these virtual streets. You ready? All right now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now. Hey stickies, y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life, and today we're honing in on a story that might not make you feel the best, but I think it's important to really foster a discussion and have a conversation about taking the law into your own hands when you feel like the legal system just hasn't or isn't doing enough. So today we're honing in on a father who was arrested for killing his son's murderer. Yes, you read that right. On the way to court. All right. So as you come on in, hit thumbs up on the video. I really appreciate it. Have a seat on my bus. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Real quick, before we get started, number one, I hope that y'all are feeling all right. Happy Wednesday. And hopefully there was something positive that happened for you today. But make sure you tackle your invisible problems before you dibble and dabble into this tragic story. I also want to issue you, I think, a very obvious trigger warning. You read the title, but just guard your spirit because this story can be quite saddening to some. I know I got a couple of new subscribers, and I just want to say thank y'all. And before I get into breaking down today's topics and viral events, be sure to subscribe. Make sure you consider subscribing today, and thumbs up or down. Either way, I appreciate it. But don't forget to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. Now let's get into this story. Hey, thanks for letting me keep you connected and in the know with what's happening in the Black world. Don't forget to smash on that like button for support and for more Black news. This is a story that really grabbed me when I saw it online, and I really wanted to bring this to my platform, and I do want to know what you all think about it. This father was arrested for killing his son's murderer on the way to court, and this story actually took a couple of turns that kind of had me just shook, saddened, surprised, shocked, and there was even a trifling aspect to the story, in my opinion. It's a sad story with a happy ending, or is it? Let me know what you think at the end. Now, a 21-year-old man confessed to killing a high school student, 18-year-old Caleb Johnson, the teen's stepsister, 25-year-old Breyiana Brown, and wounding another individual in a gun sale gone bad. This is all according to New Orleans police. Now, the man responsible for the murders was Hollis Carter, who was gunned down in a drive-by shooting on his way to a pretrial hearing for the double homicide of the step siblings. Now, one might wonder, I definitely did, after this guy commits these horrific crimes and confesses to the killing of a teenager, why was he even free? Well, Carter was out on $375,000 bond. The tragic murder of 18-year-old Caleb and his 25-year-old sister Breyiana happened in March of 2021. A year later, and the murderer is still running the streets. And I'm sure that this is a fact that the friends and family of the deceased weren't too happy about. Well, the father of the slain siblings took matters into his own hands while the man who took his children's life was sitting at a traffic light. He pulled up in a black Ford F-150 pickup truck alongside Hollis Carter and shot him in the head. Eyewitnesses who were employees at a nearby church-operated car wash said that someone unloaded a gun into the car, firing at least 8 shots, and police found him dead on the scene. Now, these are the types of stories, honestly. I see these things online where really it's like street justice. It's like their sibling, their child was killed in cold blood. The person is not in jail serving time, and the family takes care of it themselves. And these are the posts where you often see free him, and you see free him flooding the comments. Let him go. He didn't do anything wrong, or that's what needed to happen, so on and so forth. So I want to know from you, do you think that this father is wrong for what he did, Or is this a case of street justice? Let me know your thoughts down below, but there's a little bit more to this story. So, New Orleans police obtained a search warrant and they arrested 46-year-old Bokio Johnson last Friday for the murder of the man who killed his children, Hollis Carter. He was booked on charges of second-degree murder, which carries an automatic life sentence, and attempted second-degree murder. These are the same exact charges that Carter faced for killing his children. Now, the reason he was booked on second degree and attempted second degree is because when he fired at Hollis Carter, there was also a passenger in the car. That was Carter's mother. Now, she was critically wounded and rolled out into the street as the car rolled forward. And if that's not crazy enough for you, after Hollis Carter confessed to killing the 18 and 25-year-old, he then got an attorney who claimed his client didn't kill anybody and that he was committed to proving his client's innocence. I found that to be eerie, trifling, and disgusting. But nonetheless, his attorney's name was John Fuller, and John Fuller had planned to argue in court that Carter made this statement because he was afraid of the actual killer, who has never been publicly identified or arrested. Now, John Fuller said in the statement, and I quote, "Street justice has resulted in an assurance that there would never be any closure to this case. He doesn't deserve to have his obituary tainted by what were basically false charges," end quote. And then he also went on to say, and I quote, "He was a good kid." The murderer, right? This is a guy for double homicide, right? His attorney says he was a good kid. He was working at a restaurant. He was abiding by all of the restrictions required by a defendant who's out on bond. He was loved by his family, and this is tragic, end quote. As for the case of the deaths of Caleb Johnson and his 25-year-old stepsister, Breyiana Brown. By the way, they were killed on March 28th of last year, 2021. So it has quite literally been a year and 2 days. The case is still open, despite the fact that the man who confessed to killing them is dead. Now, the district attorney's office declined to comment about the planned defense that Carter confessed to, but said he was innocent. But the district attorney's office did confirm that it is still an ongoing case. The case is still open. So what I want to know from you is, what are your thoughts? I think that Hollis Carter, the guy guilty of double homicide per his own admission, I think that he thought he was going to get away with double murder. But the father of the lives that he took, that man never forgot that. And I'm pretty sure he hadn't been the same since, and probably still ain't. But I think that this dad here, Bokio, I think that he lost some of the most valuable things to him in life and felt that he had nothing else to lose. And I think that it's pretty easy to say, I've never lost a child, but it's pretty safe to say that if and when you lose a child, there's a state of delusion that comes over you, because parents are not supposed to be burying their children. It's supposed to be the other way around. And I think that him feeling as though he had nothing to lose, I think that that was the thought that triggered this tragic event, coupled with the fact that he felt that the police weren't doing enough. Why should Hollis Carter be able to walk free after such heinous crimes and taking the lives of two people and critically wounding another person? This whole story seems like a somewhat street poetic version of an episode of I Almost Got Away with It. Because it seemed like he had a pretty decent attorney who was ready to go to bat. He was out. He was able to attain employment. This was a pretty sick situation. But what are your thoughts on this tragic story? Should the direct family of loved ones have leniency or be sentenced differently for handling a situation that the legal system dropped the ball on? You know, by the way, there was also a GoFundMe set up last year. Obviously, this tragic event of the dad shooting this man, this happened on Wednesday of last week. He was arrested on Friday after the police obtained and executed a search warrant. But prior to this event last week, there was a GoFundMe with over $8,000 in it, and it's actually still up. Now, the $8,000, the money that they were collecting on the GoFundMe was supposed to be for the funeral arrangements, and literally the money was supposed to go directly to the dad. So the dad's brother, Brokio's sister, Chelsea, is actually the one who set up the GoFundMe. And I'm going to place the link down below in the description box as soon as I end this broadcast. But I want to know your thoughts on this situation. I would really appreciate it if you would give this video a thumbs up, if you would share it on Facebook, Twitter, via text message, however it is that you share videos. Let me know your thoughts. I want to get into something different. Y'all know over here on my channel, I pride myself in giving y'all the best Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. And this is quite the dreary story. So I don't want to leave y'all on a note that isn't so positive over here. You know that I'm big on balance. I feel like anytime we talk about something that's not so positive that's happening in the Black community, it's important to talk about something that is positive that's happening. There are not just negative things happening in society. Okay, so let's get into something a little different real quick.
On your wrist, plain Jane.
You're tuned in to Jane, the plainest Jane. Be sure to thumbs up the video and subscribe, and let's get into it. Now, this is a story that I saw online earlier today that really warmed my heart, something serious. It really made me smile ear to ear. This man, his name is Merrill Pittman Cooper. He's an African-American man from Jefferson County, West Virginia, and he's earned his high school diploma at the tender age of 101 years young, finally making his lifelong dream come true. Now, from 1934 to 1938, Cooper was a student at Storer College in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. And this is a school that admits newly freed slaves during the Civil War. Now, he studied Latin, biology, history, English, and mathematics. However, he was forced to drop out during his senior year when his family had to move to Philadelphia due to financial reasons. Now, over the years, he accomplished a career in the transportation industry, but he still had some regret over not ever attaining his diploma. So he told his family about it. And when he visited the school, which is now a part of the Harpers Ferry National Historical Park in 2018, his family supported the dream and reached out to the school to make it happen. So finally, he was honored with a special ceremony and a diploma on March the 19th. Jefferson County Schools is committed to helping every student, young or old, fulfill their dreams. And for Mr. Cooper, that meant receiving a high school diploma. And the school said that they are honored to help make that dream a reality. You are legitimately never too old. It's never too late. It's never too late. And I'm pretty sure that he will be able to go on to glory, just being satisfied that he was able to scratch something off of his to-do list that he always wanted to do. No one wants to go on to glory and go on the other side and meet the Lord without accomplishing what they wanted to, with regrets. And this made me smile, seeing him smile this way. And this may be small to y'all, but it's a big deal to him. It's never too late. 101 years old, and he still looks really good. Okay, so I wanted to leave y'all on a positive note. Like I said, the title and the meat and bones and potatoes of this story, it isn't the most positive, but you know, I do want to hear from you. How are you feeling? I see a couple of people in the comments saying, I'm not saying he's right, but I definitely understand as far as him, you know, taking the life, the dad here, to go back to the last story, and him actually taking the life of someone that killed both of his children. I think that it's sad. I think that it's sad that the man was actually free in the first place. And I just, what's unfortunate is that the dad had to lose his life in one way, shape, or form with this, because ultimately this dad here, he's not free. Now, he ain't died, but he might not ever see the light of day. It's safe to say that he probably may not see the light of day for literally, you know, attempted murder and attempted second-degree murder. This is pretty heavy. And just the irony of him catching the same charges, you know, it's like those charges were passed down. You took someone's life and you're facing the same exact charges that the man that you sought revenge, you got revenge, but you'll be in jail for the rest of your life now. This is really sad that sometimes as Black people, the law doesn't work. The legal system does not work in our favor. It's just not set up that way. And sometimes we feel like we need to take the law into our own hands. And oftentimes when we hear that, it's with a negative connotation attached to it. The police will always tell you, don't take the law into your hands. Leave it up to us. Well, what if you all are not doing your job? What if this person is still out on the streets and I'm still triggered? I have to either see him on the side of the road or just whatever the case is. I feel like, especially with the confession, it's not even like, oh, they were still trying to, and he was released on October of last year. And this 21-year-old literally confessed to double homicide. And then his attorney says, oh, well, he just feared retaliation. Young Black people do not admit to things that they didn't do, let alone a double homicide. They just don't. So you're not telling me that this young man in New Orleans was 21 years old and admitted to taking the life of two people, and he ain't really do it. And then if he was really scared of retaliation, a person that's never been identified and a person that is still running the streets, then he's out there in harm's way for the alleged killer that he made up, in my opinion, can still get him. So he's just out here driving to work, enjoying fresh air, freedom, and all these other things while he's made up an invisible man that he's saying did these things. Well, why hadn't the invisible man came and caught him when he feared retaliation? A lot of this story just doesn't make sense. It's really tragic, again, that this dad has to spend potentially the rest of his life in jail for what the legal system ultimately did not handle. But like I said, I want to hear from you down below in the comments. Make sure you keep it sticky. Make sure you keep it real. But I only want to hear from you in the comments after you hit thumbs up on this video. Thank y'all so much for stopping past this video. If you enjoy this bit of Black news, my presentation over here, please consider subscribe and share this video on Facebook, on Twitter, via text message, however it is that you share videos, okay? I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Be sure to tag me on your favorite trending topics on Instagram and on Twitter. Like I said, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And thank you so much for your time and energy. Don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up or down. Either way, I appreciate it. But be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of this celebrity or real life syrup, because you know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. Y'all drop one of them pancake emojis, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Deuces.
On your wrist, plain Jane.
But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.